beautiful jellyfish, it's Tracy. If you went to the Battle for Zendikar pre-release or any of that sort of stuff, I hope you guys did well. If you're planning on going to any events, I hope you guys do well. This is a video talking all about Battle for Zendikar stuff. I'm going to be going through with you guys through my deck and stuff like that that I played, and I'm just going to be kind of talking to you guys about like some cards and stuff, like reasons why I decided to build the deck that I did and stuff, and all that sort of stuff. This is all Battle for Zendikar things. It would have been really awesome if I'd gotten videos up about Battle for Zendikar before. Honestly, last week I was really busy before the pre-release. I'm a part of Humans vs Zombies on my campus, which is a really awesome game. It's like a giant game with of tag with Nerf blasters. It's really sweet. And we have our week-long coming up where we play for an entire week, which is this coming up week, so I'm going to be really crazy busy this week. And I'm also, I'm actively involved in the club. I do a bunch of different things for the club, so like I have a lot of that sort of stuff, so I didn't really have time to like pre-plan and stuff like that, and for videos. And another thing that I really couldn't do is like I didn't get to play with the set like before. Like I know some YouTubers who like, you know, they get to do that sort of stuff and I don't get to do that. That would be really awesome if I got to do that, like play the set before it actually comes out and stuff, even before the pre-release, but I don't get the chance to do things like that in the future. That'd be really cool if I got to, but yeah, and so it's like my perspective is just as good as yours in that sense of be like, I think this card is gonna work and stuff like that, but these are my opinions on the cards that I played last night. I went 2-2 last night. I liked my deck. One of my friends helped me out a little bit at the end when I had like the basis for the deck and stuff. I think that I definitely went in the right colors and all that sort of stuff. So I actually won a door prize. I'll show you guys what I won. I won a playmat, which is super sweet. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but it's really cool. I won this, and I hope you guys can see this. It's really cool. I won it, and it was so funny. It's like I went to the bathroom, and then as I was walking down the stairs, they were like, Tracy, you want a playmat? And I was like, oh, okay. And the thing is that I already have a playmat, and like I know some people have like a bunch of playmats, so I don't really know what to do with it, so I may just like sell it or something like that, because I don't really need it, and like I would rather have magic cards than 2 playmats, because I have my Casper playmat and I love it, and like I don't want to have another playmat at the moment, so that's just, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but yeah, so last night I opened up all of my stuff. I'll show you guys my promo that I got, which the thing is that I know a lot of times, and I said this before in videos, sometimes when you're playing sealed or something like that, or you're drafting, you can get blinded by the rare and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to play the rare and stuff like that, and where there could be better options. However, I'll show you guys some of the other things that I got, and I just feel like this made the most sense. I went green-red, like landfall like type things. So my promo was Greenwarden of Murasa. This card is pretty cool. Definitely a really solid card to pick up. I have a couple of big Eldrazi in my deck, and basically getting the chance to play this and get one of them back once they've killed it, you know, there's a decent amount of removal in the set. Like I've had people like smite the monsters, my stuff and things like that, and then I can just get my things back, and then when it dies I get something back. It's just really good. I think this is a really solid card. By no means the best magic card ever, but I do think that it is a really good card, and I was really happy to pick that up. So I saw my promo and I was like, okay, you know, maybe I'll go green and stuff like that. So that was my promo, and I'll actually show you guys like my piles of the amount of like things in other colors. This is how many black cards I got. I don't even know how many this is. This looks like it's like 10 magic cards, so I think I got like 10 black cards, right? White I had a little bit more. White I think I had about like 15 or something. This is how many white cards I had. Blue I had about the same. I think I had about like 10, 12, 15. Like, none of those colors for me really made too much sense to go into. I'll show you guys a couple staple cards that I was thinking about. There was a couple of things. My black actually had 2 really solid removal cards. I had Grip of Desolation and Complete Disregard. The thing is that the rest of my black was just really not that strong, and I didn't really have a lot of creatures, and I could not justify splashing black for those cards. I bet some people would disagree with me on that. To me, it just didn't really make too much sense. I have no issues with splashing 3rd colors. I don't think it's an awful thing. Sometimes it just makes the most sense for your deck. However, for my deck, I just didn't think that it made, I couldn't justify it. And again, some people may have disagreed with me. Those are really good cards. Those are really awesome removal cards to look out for. If you're in black, I would definitely look into those. Yeah, they're just both really good. So those were a couple of things from black that I was considering thinking about. From white, there was a couple of things. I got a Kor Entanglers and a Makindi Patrol, and These cards are really sweet. Like, the allies are really awesome, and I did look to see how many allies I had. Again, I just didn't have enough to justify it, and that's kind of like, the Battle for Zendikar is a very, very difficult set. Like, it's a very, very weird set to play. It's going to be a really weird set to draft, because, for a lot of different reasons. One, the set is very high mana cost. There's not a lot of things that you're going to be doing early game. It's going to be a slow set, definitely. There's a lot of high mana cost stuff and things like that. I was playing so many games last night where I could not tell you, I did not see a lot of 2-drops, I did not see a lot of 3-drops. The game didn't really start until it was about like turn 4, because there's not a lot of really good stuff in those, you know, those low mana cost things and stuff, so this is a very weird set for that. So anyways, so I really was thinking about going allies, and I got these 2 cards, and by the way, if you're going allies, Makindi Patrol, yes, this is a card that you are going to be looking out for, because if you're drafting the set or you're going a pre-release and you are looking to go allies, you want this card in your deck. This card's actually amazing. I had a couple people play it against me, and it was just really good, so... yeah, and then I got a couple of mediocre cards, nothing, again, super great. I got 2 sheer drops, which would have been really awesome. Like, if I had, again, gone white, I potentially could have splashed. I just didn't have enough allies. It just didn't make sense for me. Another card that I got, which was one of my rares, is, Hero of Goma Fada, which, if I had gone white, it just would have... That's just what I would have done. I would have gone white allies, and it would have been really cool. So, yeah, that was, you know, those are some things that, you know, in those colors that I was considering. What else? Let's talk about blue. Blue, nothing absolutely notable that I got in blue. I got a Scatter to the Winds, which is good, but not amazing. Not exactly a great bomb, and I'm really looking at my blue cards right now, and I don't even, none of these are at all remotely notable that I would want to mention them to you. I mean, like, they're okay, they're mediocre, but I feel like the stuff that I had was just better, so, I mean, Scatter to the Winds, okay. Best Magic card ever? Not really. And a couple of cards that I pulled that were in my color that I decided not to run. I got a Seek the Wilds. I don't know how I feel about this card. I feel like this is kind of an empty sort of filler card that I don't really know if I'm in love with. So it was kind of just one of those awkward cards. I got 2 Reclaiming Vines, and I was really excited to see these. These are definitely really good sideboard cards. 4 mana to do what it does. I mean, a lot of mana for that, it's that type of removal, but it does the job. It's a very good sideboard card. I was really happy to see this. The rest of my green, not anything super crazy, not anything, you know, nothing bad, but I think the green was definitely the strongest color in my pool. And then oh, whoa, okay. I totally thought I just misread a card for a second. I was like, whoa. In red, yeah, I had one card that I really liked for my sideboard, which was Boiling Earth. I think this is a really good sideboard card if you're drafting or you're going to a pre-release. This is a really good card to keep in mind for your sideboard. We have a lot of Eldrazi Scions that you want to blow up, a lot of things with 1 toughness that you're going to want to get rid of and stuff like that, so that card was pretty okay. Again, definitely kept in sideboard. I would not mainboard that card. That's just me. And yeah, red, the rest of the cards were not bad, just nothing that I would really consider running. Cool. So now we get into the actual deck. So I'm going to talk about non-creature stuff first. Like I said, I first had our Reclaiming Vines. I actually had this in sideboard, and I don't remember what the other card was in main board. I changed out a couple, like, 1 to 2 cards over the course of the night in my side. I don't even honestly remember, like, what some of those cards were, but I got a Reclaiming Vines, and I sideboarded that in. This card is really, really good, and a lot of people would probably disagree with me on that, and I have to say that I played it last night, and every time I cast it, it did amazing things for me, and that is Swell of Growth. This is a really cool combat trick, simply because of landfall. I went kind of like this landfall type deck. The thing about drafting this set, the thing about playing this set in a limited environment, is that you really need to go in a specific route. You're like, I'm going allies. You need to go commit. You need to be committed to allies. You need to do that. You need to be like, I'm going to do this. There's not really room for kind of like this, like kind of sorta like, you got to kind of do one thing or the other. My deck kind of had that landfall type thing. Could have been more if I had gotten, you know, more cards or stuff like that for it. But this card is just really, really good. It connects really, really well with your landfall stuff. It buffs your dude if they have a combat trick, and then you respond and you give your dude a thing. You get the land on the battlefield. It's just really, really good. If I had, honestly, I would not really play one more than one of those cards. I don't think I don't think you need it, but I think just having one in the deck is really sweet. I think if you're going green and you're playing the set, I would look out for this card because I think it was really cool. Even if you don't have like a landfall type deck, just the ability to just have 2 mana, like that's a really good bet, a really good thing that you're doing. It's like 1 mana to give a creature +2/+2, and 1 more mana to put a land onto the battlefield. It's not even tapped. It's just really, really good. It's a really cool combat trick. This was another card out of my sideboard. I don't remember what I had in there before, but Outnumber. Good card. A really, really good card. It's basically a 1 mana kill spell for the most part. You're kind of just like, hey, I have 5 things. You have a 5 power creature. I'm just gonna get rid of it for 1 mana. It's just really good. Outnumber is just it's a weird card, but I really like it. Then I drafted Call of the Scions. I keep thinking that I'm drafting this set and I haven't gotten there yet. Call of the Scions. This card is not one of my all-time favorite cards, but I do like it. I think it's really good if you're drafting the set or you're playing the set and you need like just a little bit more creatures, you need those Scions and you haven't found them within your creatures. This is like not a bad card to draft. Honestly, I would have preferred if this card was like an actual creature over a sorcery, but I was pretty okay to draft it. I would not draft more with them. I would not play more than one of those cards. One of these was out of the sideboard. Again, I don't even remember what I had in the main board, but I have 2 Touch of the Voids. This card is really cool. It gets rid of a lot of stuff in the format. You would actually really not think so because you're like, oh, the set has a lot of big mana cost stuff, and you're right. But a lot of those little things, you know, you just want to get off the board. There's a lot of decent creatures that are like, you know, low mana costs that you just want to get rid of so that you can swing with your dudes and stuff like that. So, I was happy to pick up 2 of those. And this one card that I have, again, this is something that a lot of people would disagree with me on and say that this card's really not that good, but Hedron Archive, I really like this card. I like it because it is 4 mana, and then it gives me 2 mana, which is sweet, and it's an artifact, so I can tap that right away, which is awesome. And then the fact that I can sack it to draw 2 cards. Now, the thing is that I was producing quite a bit of mana in this deck, and I was having a lot of mana, so that I can just sack that if I don't need it and draw 2 cards. I really like having the flexibility. I really like having options in Magic cards. I think that's one of like the best things that you can do in the game. So I think that this card was really good. Again, would not play more than one of them, but I thought it was a really sweet card. If you're drafting the set or something, this is not a first pickable card, or by no means, but it is a good card, and I was happy to have one in my deck. Cool. So now we get into the creatures. So of course I had my promo, which was Greenwarden of Murasa, or however you pronounce that. Yeah, again, I already talked about that. The card was pretty cool. The first card that I have for creatures that I want to talk to you guys about is Valakut Predator. This is really good. This is a really, really good, nice body of a creature to have. Again, when you're dealing with this set, doesn't have a lot of small creatures. This is a very good 3-drop in your deck to have. If you get out this out turn 3, turn 4, you can be swinging for 4 damage, which is really cool. Potentially more if you have more landfall triggers. And this card is just really good. I really like it. It's definitely like just a really nice like 3-drop. And just a card, you know, that's really good. Okay, next card, I had an Oblivion Sower, and this is a great Magic card because it does, first off, it's a 5/8 for 6, which is just really weird. Like 5/8, that's really strange, but it is what it is. And second off, you just get lands. You exile things from their library, which it's good because then they don't get to draw those things. And you know, you get lands, and like it's just really good. Like a lot of people just can't even deal with that. Like they're just like, it's a 5/8. Like I don't even know how to deal with that at all. Okay, cool. Then I had a Vestige of Emrakul. By no means the most exciting Magic card ever, but it's really not awful. Again, just kind of like a nice thing to have in your 4-drop slot if you're drafting the set, or you're in the pre-release, or you're in a release or something for the set. I think this is definitely a good card to look out for. Probably wouldn't run more than one of them, but if you need creatures, it's not a bad body to have. Okay, then I have Deathless Behemoth. This is actually a really good card. Even if you don't have the Eldrazi Scions, it's a 6/6 6 mana for a 6/6 with Vigilance, which is really good. It's a really nice blocker to have, and then it's really good on the offense because unless you have a really big thing that you can't get through, you might as well just swing with this thing. So really not a bad card to have. Cool. Then I have a Nettle Drone. Yeah, this card's pretty cool. I actually got a foil. Is this my foil that I have? Yeah, I got a foil one of these, which is pretty cool. Even if you don't really have a lot of colorless spells, this is really not a bad early game thing to have because you can just tap 1 to deal 1 damage to an opponent, so it's really not awful. I think it's better in a colorless type of deck, but like, hey, it's not awful. This card is really interesting, and I don't know how I feel about this. I want to say I don't like it as much as I want to, and that is Makindi Sliderunner. I really want to like this card, but I feel like just that 2/1 just makes it really awkward because it kind of dies to a lot of things that deal like 1 damage and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I mean, asking this to be a 2/2 for 2 mana with Trample and Landfall is asking for a lot, but, it's okay. It's definitely not something that I would be like, oh my gosh, this card's amazing, I want like 15 of them in my deck. Like, not something like that. It's not awful, but it's just not really the greatest either. Then I got a Firemantle Mage. Now, something that's really interesting about allies is that even if you don't play allies, like I'm gonna go allies, you can still draft and play a couple of those ally cards because it's when it or another ally enters. So if you have a huge board, you can just drop something and you can just, you know, give your things whatever. This card is Firemantle Mage. I don't remember if I said that, but basically it's just really good because if you have a lot of things, it's like, hey, menace and stuff like that, and if they don't have a lot of creatures, or they have a lot of creatures now, they're forced to block in a way that they weren't going to before. So this card's really cool. If you're playing allies, definitely a card that you're going to want to look out for. If not, it's not really a bad thing to have. 3 mana for a 2/2 is pretty okay. Even if you just get that 1 rally trigger off of it, it's really not that bad. Cool. Then I have this card. I actually got a foil one of these. This is really pretty, by the way, too. This is Brood Monitor. It's really, really nice. I don't know how well foils actually show up on camera, but it's really cool. This is an awesome card. It's basically 6 mana for 6 power and toughness, basically. Nothing super exciting, but this is a really nice blocker. Once you have those Eldrazi Scions, it's a 3/3, nothing super exciting, it's just a vanilla at that point. But, you know, someone swings, or you swing with it or whatever, and it's just another attacker or another blocker or anything like that, but those Scions are really, really relevant. Anything in this set that really gets you more Scions is a really good thing. 1, if you need them for mana, or 2, it's just a really good blocker, or it's a really good attacker if you are being really aggressive. Okay, I had another Makindi Sliderunner. I had another one of those. Then I had an Ondu Champion, and again, if you're going in the ally direction, something you're gonna want to look out for. If not, this card is not bad. I think that it's good. I don't think it's by no means one of the, actually, no, is this one of the best allies? I don't remember if this is one of the best allies in the set. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a 4/3 for 4 mana, which is really good, and then, you know, things get trample. That's pretty great. Then I have a Giant Mantis. This card is amazing. If you're playing green, this is definitely something that you're gonna want to look out for. It's a 2/4 reach. For 4 mana, it's nothing really fancy, but it's nice because it's got like that 4 toughness, which is just kind of difficult for like a lot of people to deal with. It gets by a lot of those removal things that deal 3 damage, which is really good. It's just a really nice blocker or a really good attacker. Just a really sweet card. Yeah, then I got a Kozeilek's Chancellor. I really like this card. Like, I would not really, I don't know if I would play more than 2. Like, it depends on your deck. It depends on if you have a lot of high mana cost stuff and things like that. But I was happy to pick up one of these and draft one and play one of them. Cool. Then I have Eyeless Watcher. This is actually pretty good for what this is. It's 4 mana for basically 3 power and toughness. Nothing super fancy. They don't really, you know, it's just a 1/1 at that point. Doesn't really do anything, but it's not super bad awful. It's bad either. There we go. And the last card that I had on my thing other than lands is the Eldrazi Devastator. And this was a really nice bomb to have. this is not an Ulamog or anything like that, by no means, but it's an 8/9 with trample, which is really tough for a lot of people to deal with. So, yeah, I was really happy to pick this card up, and like, you know, I think the deck curved out really nicely. Like, I was talking to one of my friends about it, and he was like, I think your deck has a really nice curve, and normally I'm really not that good at sealed. Like, I was happy to go 2/2 because sealed is by no means my best. It's just not something that I'm really that good at, but I did pretty okay. I was really happy about that. Now to talk about lands. So I ran 18. This is a set, like I said, where you do want to run a lot of lands because things are very high mana cost. I think, as a rule of thumb, when you're playing and you build a 40 card deck, you want to do 17 is a really good number for lands. However, this set I went 18, and I think a lot of times you're going to want to do 18 because you just have things, you need mana. And the thing too, those Eldrazi Scions, where they are absolutely awesome, they do get sacrificed, so you don't have them around forever and things like that. So you do want to have a lot of lands. So 17, 18 is really going to be a reference. I would by no means, unless you just make a deck that has a very low CMC for 16, realistically, I don't think you're going to be able to do that in this set. I think 17, 18. I was talking to my friend Lee, and he was like, I honestly think people need to do 18 lands in this set. I just think it's the way that the set works. So a couple of fancy lands that I did are Fertile Thicket. I like this card. This is, oh my goodness, if you're drafting the set, no means pack one, pick one. However, a card that you're going to want to look out for if it's in your colors, I think this is probably the best. I don't know what these lands are called. I don't know if they're called anything fancy, but like, it's one of the best lands in this. The blue one is also pretty good. I like the blue one a lot. The white one's okay, and then the red one, and then why am I slipping on what the other one is? I don't know what the other one is. But yeah, that's that. Then I got a Blighted Woodland. Again, not super exciting, but I do like this card because I sack it and I get 2 basic lands. So I don't really care about sacking it because I have at least 5 mana at that point, which I can do that, so I don't really care. So I was really happy to get that. And it thins through my deck too, which is really awesome. By the way, I didn't get any Evolving Wilds, and I was really unhappy about that. Like, I have a thing where, like, if a set has Evolving Wilds in it, I'm running 2 colors, I want an Evolving Wilds, I want at least one. I'd like to have more, but the words of the Rolling Stones, you can't always get what you want, right? And then for full arts, I mean, let's be real here, full arts are really awesome. In the deck, I had 2 of the I'm just going to show you these because they're really beautiful. I had 2 mountains, and then I had 1 forest, which are really awesome. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And then the rest were lands. I think I did an even split, now that I'm thinking about it. I had 18, and then I had the 2. So yeah, I think I did an even split of lands. My mana cost-wise things were very, very even. I didn't really have an issue too much with lands, like, in terms of not having the colors. Something that I've noticed about playing Magic is, even if I don't have a very even split of things, I like to usually do that for my curve. Like, I usually just like to do that with my lands because it helps me get my colors, and I'm much more likely to run into issues where, like, I need a certain, you know, thing. I was fine. Most of my things were a single white, a single green, or a single red, so I didn't really have issues there. But yeah, guys, let me know how you guys did. My friend Lee actually pulled a foil, not Godless Shrine, Steam Vents, the, one of those lands. So that was really cool. They're going for like that one's going for like 230 or something like that. I would have been really awesome to, like, you know, get one of those, but, you know, it's okay. Yeah, let me know how you guys did. What did you pull? Did you pull anything really awesome? I don't think I pulled anything, like, super, like, in terms of pulling things for, like, money-wise, I don't actually know prices of anything for the set right now, like, except for the expeditions, really. I don't know anything. Like, I know that Gideon is, like, 25 or something. I don't really know what the prices are for, like, anything else, so I don't know if I necessarily got anything of value, but, like, I won 2 packs at the end of the night, and I got a really awesome playmat, so I was really happy with how the pre-release came out. I think that's everything that I wanted to say to you guys. Let me know how you did in the comments below, and if you're, you know, drafting this set or anything like that. Let me know if you want me to do, like, a video that's, like, more in-depth in, like, each of the colors and talk about, like, the good cards from each colors and stuff like that. I just recently watched, yesterday I was prepping for the pre-release with some of my friends, and, we watched, oh my gosh, what channel is this right now? It's at the tip of my tongue and I can't remember what it is. But I was watching like the breakdown of like each of the colors and stuff like that and see like what are, you know, the notable cards for each of the colors and things like you should look out for and stuff. So let me know if you want to do that, if that would be helpful at all. I know there's a bunch of things and I know I am late to the game because a lot of that stuff has already happened, but like I said, I just really didn't have time. Hopefully I'll do that for like the next set. I'll keep that in mind, you know, when the next set comes out, like to do a breakdown of like, you know, notable cards in each of the colors. But yeah, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day/night, and I will talk to you later.